You have questions. Bodie's back with answers in the garage.
Hello and welcome back to In the Garage. Today we're talking about the ABCs. That was Stephanie's line that she came up with, the ABCs of building a car. Good job, Steph. But, we just talked about finding the right car for yourself, where to look, how to look for, rust and parts and missing and this and that, registering it. And once you get the car, stare at it, sit in it, play with the steering wheel for a while, you know what I mean? Do some imagining. Walk around it. Just keep staring at it for a few days. That's what I do. I mean, I just start thinking of how I want that car to look, and I'll be like working and I'll on something else and I'll be looking at a car across the shop like, okay, I want to do this to that car, and then I'll look at another car across the shop. I want to do this. Just because I have a terrible disease. And all I want to do is build cars. But, and then once you get the car, what I would do is sit down and start, just plug into Summit, racing, and or one of those sites, JAGS or something, and or get a catalog for that car and start doing the math. Start adding up everything. Start looking the shape that everything's in, your rubber, your molding, your trim, your all that stuff. Take it all into consideration and just start building a crunch list for yourself. Because then you're going to see how much it's really going to cost you. A lot of people come to us and they just don't understand. It's like, okay, I want this, 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 and this. And it's like, okay, well, you're up to 90 grand already with all the stuff that you just chose and the paint job you want and the upholstery you want. Well, and we haven't even started our labor, so.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it takes a lot to build these things.
Yeah. But, I mean, once you figure that out and you figure out the wheels and tires you want and stuff, I mean, really start thinking about that stuff as soon as you get the car. Maybe go to a couple car shows and check it out, check out wheel sizes and tire sizes and talk to some people. Talk what front end they got, front suspension they're running, what rear suspension they're running, and what they did to lower it. Did they use a drop spindle? Take all that stuff into consideration. Just do your homework before you actually start the car. But once you figure that out, just start laying into that puppy. Don't be scared. Just take it all the way down, and get some like those little plastic Ziploc baggies, with the labels on it, and just start taking it apart and keeping track of all that stuff, And then what we've been doing lately a lot of is we get those plastic totes, I guess that's what you'd call them, huh? And that'll hold a ton of stuff, And you put all that stuff into these totes, and you put a cool label on the tote. And if you can store it, makes it easy to store, makes it easy to find. You can label it and tell you what's inside of it. Because once you take that thing apart, there's a bazillion parts, and that's how a lot of people get discouraged and end up coming to us, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
That's why we're helping you right now start this project.
Well, also, before you start taking it apart, a camera is your best friend.
Oh, yeah. Take
tons
of pictures. It's so easy these days. You can take it with your phone. That's what we like to do.
Even if you think it's a silly part of the car to take a picture, that's going to be the place later down the road. You're going to be, how did that go?
Yeah.
Where did that piece fit in?
Uh-huh.
So you literally want to almost take a picture of every inch of the car.
Every inch.
It will help you down the road.
Yep. Or if you can afford a donor car, you buy one just like it and have it parked out back, and you can rob pieces off of it. And when you're putting that car back together, you don't even understand how easy it is to walk outside. Sometimes I forget we have a donor car out back, and I'm like scratching my head, and oh yeah, we got a car out back.
Yeah, that makes it convenient.
It really does.
I think we get lucky in that area.
Yeah, because we don't know everything, So we're not going to even pretend to think we know everything, or act like we know everything. So we have our little tricks, too, that help us speed up the process. And if you do all this stuff, it'll help you in the long run, too, of getting that car finished a lot quicker,
Definitely.
So, you know, just start pulling apart, separating everything. Figure out, you know, start planning in your head and make a list, whatever, what you're going to be powder coating, what you're going to be chroming, what needs to go to get polishing, anodizing, whatever, you know, and you want to separate all that stuff, you know, and tear the whole body down to, you know, if you can separate the body from the chassis, that's cool. And you can put it on some kind of dolly or cart or a rotisserie type deal. You want to go buy a rotisserie or whatever. That's even better, you know. And then at that stage, we just take the car and we get it soda blasted. Do soda blasting. Don't do, you know, if you take it to the right guy, he'll soda blast most of it and he'll strip the rest of it, you know, with like a paint remover. Especially like the hood, the roof, quarter panels on these old cars. You know, you got to be really careful on who you send it to, because if they just rip into it, like that 57 Chevy we got, you know, my buddy's 57 Chevy we're doing, it's like, well, I got a friend, you know, over here, and he'll sandblast the thing. Oh, boy, did he. You know, I think how much metal do you think was left on that thing? Oh, look. You know, we've replaced the quarter panels. I can't believe the roof is still, like, in one solid shape. But I'm telling you, when I've gone to weld on it, I've been welding on it personally, and it's like, it just burns a hole right through it, like, right now. So
yeah, I'm sure a lot of it's super thin.
Yeah.
And it'll also warp if, you know, the guy doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, it'll warp. You'll get that tin canning, and if you are not familiar with fabricating and removing that stuff, good luck.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, you might as well buy new doors and, I don't know, take it to somebody that knows what they're doing. But you know, get it soda blasted, get it stripped. That is the best way, because it comes back and the metal's nice and soft. You know, on a lot of these old Chevys, it's actually pretty cool, because if they do it right, when it was going through the factory in the assembly line, they would put like markings, you know, on stuff with arrows and, you know, and numbers and stuff that meant something to certain people down the line. And that stuff will still be there. That's how soft this is. So it's pretty cool when we get the cars back and it looks like that. So yeah, and then the chassis, I would do the same thing if you could, you know, get it soda blasted. If not, sandblasting really doesn't hurt it that much. You can get it sandblasted. I highly recommend it if you're going to be doing some welding, if you're going to be welding in an aftermarket front suspension kit, rear suspension, boxing the chassis, building an X-member, whatever you're going to be doing, you know.
Yeah, it always helps to start with a clean piece of metal. So getting all the old crap blasted off is going to just make everything a lot cleaner.
Yeah, plus there's like a bazillion holes in chassis once you know, take them off and see what's underneath them. It's like, wow, what are all these holes for?
Yeah.
So, unless you want to keep it light. I guess that's what maybe you could drill a few more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you plan on racing the thing.
Speed holes.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to take a break real quick, and when we come back, we'll continue talking about building a car. Be right back.
Close that hood. We're not finished talking in the garage with Bodie Stroud.
How old